Recording is on.
I'm looking for only two students in the class that wants to share the next activity with me. Any two students, just raise your hand or just let me know if you are ready. And the activity is the following. I want I want an unprepared speech of 90 seconds. Only 90 seconds. I want anybody in the audience, because you are my audience, I want anybody in the audience to stand up and speak for 90 seconds, 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I'm going to time you. I want that person to speak on the following topic: Heart Bible International University. Anybody? Any takers? It seems that technology, because at the moment I'm in South Africa. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So the topic, I'm going to put it in the chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the topic. Speak for 90 seconds about HBIU. Anybody? Sir, please go ahead. Ms. Deborah, you can speak as well.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Doctor. All right, as we have good afternoon, my listener, I'm on the air and let's speak for HBIU. So I welcome us to HBIU and we are talking about HBIU. What are the things we need to know about HBIU? HBIU is a place of intentional training or spiritual formation and leadership development. And as HBIU, let it go beyond classroom to be the classroom where things need understanding and where the word of God is not with clarity. It exists to equip believers with sound biblical knowledge and various levels of discipline, where we have the psychology minor, we have business application, we have the cyber security, and lots more. And the goal is not just to produce courageous students, but to transform lives men and women who can rightly divide the word of truth.
30
And
seconds left.
HBIU is committed to raising leaders grounded in scripture. And as you can follow us in this journey, so I want to welcome you to this university, and I want you to ensure that your heart is committed to doing all that is needed to ensure that you able to come out in flying colors. So identifying discipline and purpose is very important in shaping leaders who are leaders in class, in Christ, confidence in their calling and ready to make impact.
10
Thank you once
seconds.
again and welcome to this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
And yes, sir.
Next student. Next student, please.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello, you have 90,
Hello
you
everyone.
have 90 seconds.
Deborah. My name is Deborah Fati. HBIU University. HBIU with the acronyms. This stands for Arts Bible International University. Is a faith-based university that is not just um, so particular about giving knowledge, but with the addition of infusing knowledge with faith by raising leaders who are who are well equipped not just with the basic knowledge that you can find in any university, but raising students we are also well equipped in their faith, who are also strong believers that can influence the world positively and can also bring the change to the world system through the knowledge that is being provided. So, if there's a university that we need to look out for and the future of the student in it, it has to be HBIU. Thank you.
We can't really again, doctor.
Is there one more student that wish to participate for the 90 seconds? About
Hi, doctor.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
Respected lecturer and my fellow student, my name is Adeyemi Bukola Grace. HB Bible University, it means Art Bible University, is more than an institution of learning. It is a place where knowledge meets purpose and education is rooted in Christ. It is a faith-based university. The word heart represents the center of life, commitment, and devotion, and that is what this university stand for training men and women after God's own heart and to impart knowledge about faith to people and also to impart knowledge to
10
us.
seconds left. Please
I
continue.
think that's where can be achieved is HBU University.
15 seconds
Thank
left.
you.
So, thank you so much for our three respondents to today's impromptu public speaking. What we again heard today was to speak for a certain amount of time is actually very difficult, right? I ask you for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and you all know how quickly 1 minute and 30 seconds can go by when you do something. But when you have to do it on a public speaking platform, 1 minute and 30 seconds, the 90 seconds that you spoke can be quite daunting, especially if it is on an unprepared topic. I also want to just mention None of you knew who the audience were. I didn't say who the audience was, right? I didn't say this audience, you need to speak for 90 seconds in front of high school students, for instance, or you have to speak 90 seconds in front of your lecturer, or you have to speak 90 seconds in front of your entire class. Right, ladies and gentlemen? So, audience is quite a core part of the public speaking endeavor. I'm just going to share my screen again with you. So while my screen is coming up, this is the activity that we just completed. And we had an interesting topic. What if the topic was, for instance, you had to speak about the word clouds? Can you speak for 90 seconds about the word clouds in front of primary school students? What are you going to say to connect with that primary school kids? What are you going to tell them? What are clouds actually? Because for some of them, they see the white stuff in the air, but they would not know what is that. And you will have to connect to your audience to tell them what clouds are and to let them understand what your topic is all about. So understanding the audience matters because it will improve the engagement, you and the audience. It will reduce misunderstanding. If the audience know what you are talking about, and you, then your speech will be so much more powerful than speaking to an audience and nobody knows what you are talking about. It also builds your credibility as a public speaker, and it enhances persuasion, right? You are trying to persuade the audience. And if you know what you are talking about, it is exactly what is happening. So, what is audience analysis, right? What is audience analysis then? Audience analysis is that systematic process of understanding the audience, and where at the same time, while you understand the audience in front of you, you are starting to adapt your content if it's too high or too low. You adapt your tone. Are you too casual? Are you too formal? And then you adapt your delivery to match your audience. So there are key components in audience analysis that you have to keep in mind while you are preparing your speech. The first one is called demographics, and I'm going to explain a little bit later. The second one is called psychographics, and then there are situational factors. So under demographics, for instance, we keep in mind the age of the audience. Are they 5-year-old kids that you are asked as a teacher, for instance, you as a principal, you have to speak to the grade one or the standard one or the first group of students? Are you speaking to males or females? Because the subject matter may be different if you're speaking to a male audience comparing to a female audience. What is the educational level of your audience? What is the occupation of your audience? Are you speaking to as a for example, as a teacher? You are a teacher. Are you speaking to fellow teachers and they will understand when you mention certain jargon from the teaching profession? Or are you, as a teacher, speaking to health professionals where you want to invite them to come and speak or come and do a demonstration at your school? So you have to keep the occupation of the audience as well. What is the socioeconomic status of your audience? This can also be a very influential factor. Under the age under the age factor, younger audiences prefer interaction. By that we mean You can interact with the students. You can call out somebody from the audience to participate. You can make examples of somebody that's sitting in the audience, for instance. That is audience participation, and that works only with the younger generation. For the older generation, they prefer structure. They understand that you prepared your they understand that you prepared your speech, for instance, and they acknowledge you as a.
Doctor, I guess you mute your mic. Your mic is muted, sir.
Oh my, oh my goodness. Let me then go. I just heard that my mic is muted. I'm very sorry about that. Let me go back luckily it's early in the class. I can go back to the slides. And thank you for letting me know, because when I share my screen, I cannot see the rest of the screens. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can be heard now. We are hearing you.
Okay,
Or I'm hearing you.
I will share my screen and go back a few slides. I will start with this slide. I think maybe my mic was muted
Okay.
even with this slide. So I'll start from here and then continue further. So why does your audience matter? It improves engagement. It reduces misunderstanding when you speak about a certain topic. If you understand your audience, then they will connect with you. It also builds credibility, your credibility as a speaker. If the audience is not connecting with you, they are not going to listen to you. And it will also enhance persuasion. So, what is audience analysis then? The audience analysis is the systematic process of understanding the audience. And you have to adapt your content of the speech, the tone that you are using. Are you speaking too loud? Are you speaking too soft? Are you too formal? Are you too informal? And the delivery, the way you deliver your speak, are you going to be very formal, or are you going to be a little bit less formal and casual depending on your audience? So the key components of audience analysis are
Check your mic. Good, I can't hear.
can't hear.
I can hear you from my end. Very clear.
It looks like
Soft.
certain parts of the continent cannot hear me. So I will please just let me know throughout the speech that you can hear me. So for components of audience analysis, how you analyze the audience, how you analyze the people in front of you. The first one is called demographics. The second one, psychographics. And then there are situational factors that you can use to analyze your audience. Under the demographic characteristics, the age of your audience. Are you speaking to young people? Are you speaking to an older generation? Are you speaking to males or females? Because the way you speak to a male audience may be different to the way you speak to a female audience. What is the educational level of your audience? Are they students? Are they learners from primary school? Are they professionals in the law fraternity? Are they fellow teachers, for instance? What are the occupation? If you, as a teacher, do a speech, for example, and you're speaking to other teachers, you will connect easier because you will use certain words that other teachers will connect to. Again, if you are a teacher, for instance, and you have to speak to people in the law faculty or in the health faculty, when you want to invite them to your school, they might not understand when you use certain educational jargon. So you have to keep that in mind as well. What is the socio-economic status of your audience as well? Are you speaking to rich businessmen? Are you speaking to ordinary people like me? And again, the age of your audience do matter. It does matter. Younger audiences prefer interaction, while older audiences prefer structure. And by that I mean, when you're speaking to a younger audience, to students at a school, you can actually be more interactive with them. You can ask a random student from the audience to participate in your speech. While with older audiences, they understand that there is a structure, you have a specific time, and they would want to listen to you rather than to interact with you. Gender dynamics does play a role. Empathy and collaboration between different sexes. How direct can you be with males versus females? How assertive can you be in your speech? Can you mention certain things, certain words that a female audience may understand, while for a male audience it would be totally something different. So while you are preparing your speech, you have to keep your audience in mind. Psychographic factors are behavioral factors, the personality of the audience. You have to explain to the audience why, right? And here you have to keep the values of the audience, their beliefs, their attitudes towards the topic that you are speaking about, and also their interests. If you, for instance, have to ask, you are asked to speak to a group of pilots, but their interests are in saving the planet, for instance, but your speech is totally about aeroplanes, then you did not connect with your audience, for instance, then your speech will be non-valid. So for the values and beliefs, you have to align your messages, your body language towards your audience. And I gave you another example, says sustainability. Everybody in government and in the world are now talking about sustainability. How well are you prepared for this topic? How well are you an expert to talk about sustainability? And um, will it focus? Will it have focus on your audience? Attitudes and interests. Do you have a supportive audience, for instance? Are the audience actually helping you making that connection? Are they skeptical? And usually, skeptical audiences, you have to work a little harder to gain their trust. Otherwise, they will just think, here's another politician standing in front of us. Still hearing me? Here's another politician standing in front of us, giving us a public speech, but we are not going to listen to him. We are skeptical about the person. So, this is an example that you have to keep in mind. Situational analysis, setting, the occasion, and the audience size. Your speaking environment is very important. The setting, where are this public speaking endeavor taking place? Are you at church and then you have to behave a certain way? Are you standing in front of a political arena like our example of Dr. Martin Luther King last week? Where is this public speaking happening? What is the occasion? And this is where we connected with the 30-minute, the 2-minute speech that I asked you to write about. What is the occasion of your public speaking event? Are you at a 60th birthday party? Are you at a wedding ceremony? Are you at a funeral and you have to do the eulogy, right? So the occasion does influence the message. The audience size does influence the message as well. Are you speaking in front of a church or congregation, a full church, the size of a church? For instance, are you standing in law court where there are only 50 or 20 or 10 people in the court of law? Are you standing in front of a classroom? Are you giving a speech to a group of mothers on healthcare, for instance, and there's only 10 people in the audience. This influence the way you adjust your speech. Contextual factors, like I said earlier, formal versus informal. What are the distractions in the room while you are trying to connect with the audience? Is there one gentleman or one lady that are adamant that she wants to say something while you're doing your public speaking event? All these things you will have to adjust as you go along. So the audience size, with smaller groups, again, like earlier when that I made an example, with smaller groups there are more interaction. With larger group, you're dynamic, like Dr. Martin Luther King, like Barack Obama, like any public speaker. With larger groups, the dynamic delivery of your speech is very important. Any practical application, there should be an emotional connection with your audience. You have to engage with your audience, and again, your speaking event should persuade the audience to listen to you, that they shouldn't leave before your speech is done. This young lady, Malala Yousafzai, I'm not going to give you the video because there are too many disruptions when I play a video, but I want you to Google this name, Malala Yousafzai, if you don't know this young lady yet, and just listen how she would adapt the same story that she's telling, how she was shot by the Taliban in Pakistan while she was going to school, and how she decided that as a female she wants to have an education, right? When she recovered after the shot, and she started speaking all over the world. She started speaking at small schools, at big universities, in front of the United Nations, and how she would use the same story but adapt it to the audience. How her personal narrative became a story and an inspiration for somebody else. And also how she would use cultural sensitivity, how she would say certain things in front of certain audiences and not say this something similar in front of another audience because of cultural sensitivity. So why does audience analysis matter? Right? It matters because by understanding who your audience is, you can address their specific interests and concerns. You can utilize culturally relevant references. For example, if you are in Nigeria, you can use cultural relevant references to your Nigerian audience, but you may not, you cannot may not use the same cultural relevant reference when you, as a Nigerian citizen, or as a Tanzanian citizen, or as a South African citizen, or as a American citizen, you may not be able to use the same references culturally. You choose the appropriate tone and language style to your audience, and you reduce misunderstanding and misinterpretations. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second so that I can just make sure that everybody is still with me. Everybody can still hear me. Everybody can still again see me.
From my end, I can hear you very clearly.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
I can hear you clearly, sir. I can
I'm,
hear you clearly, sir.
I'm very, I'm
I
very
can hear you, but I can't
appreciative.
see you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but we can't see your screen right now, but we
So
can.
I will continue with the lesson. Just want to
It
connect with
seems
my
you've turned
audience.
off your video.
Yes, sir. Continue. Continue, sir. It's very interesting.
Thank you so much. I'm continuing. Let me just find the correct slide because I'm on a different screen again. So, ladies and gentlemen, while I'm sharing the screen, I hope you guys can see the screen.
No, sir, I can't see it. It's black.
So you can see the screen.
Yes, I can see the screen from my end.
Thank you so much. So if you're standing in front of your audience, if you are delivering your speech and you ignore the audience, then there will be disengagement. There will be misinterpretation of your content, and there will be loss of credibility, right? If and by this I mean, if you didn't read your audience, if you didn't make mental adjustments while you are doing your speech, you will be misinterpreted. People will think this man is talking about something that he doesn't know just because the audience could not connect with you. Or they would say, this man definitely doesn't know his topic. Why is he speaking in front of us? He doesn't know the topic. It was just because you, as the public speaker, you ignored the audience analysis. So that is very important that you always look to the audience, always connect with the audience, and adjust while you do the public speaking event. A good example of a failed audience analysis example happened in the US. And I want, after class, I'm going to post this video. But if you want to do it before I post it, it's the Pepsi advertisement. You can just Google Pepsi advertisement fail or Pepsi failed advertisement. Because what happened here was, you all know the brand Pepsi, and Pepsi wanted to broaden their audience. So in the video clip, there is a demonstration in the US about Black Lives Matters, and unfortunately for Pepsi, they used one of the Kardashian sisters that would then just give a Coke, or I mean, just give a Pepsi, a can of Pepsi, to the police audience, and all the Black Lives Matter problems were then just disappeared, and people were outraged. How can Pepsi use a political event like that, a very important political event, and make it as if it's not important? So a failed audience analysis. Please, ladies and gentlemen, when you have time, Google Pepsi failed advertisement. So the importance of audience engagement, right? It includes the following key aspects: reception and memory, emotional connection, action and behavior change, and feedback and interpretation. While under reception and memory, while you engage with your audience, the audience are more likely to pay attention, to absorb when you are clear of tone, when you connect it to them, when they understand you, they will connect with you as well. The stories that you will be telling them, the narratives that you will be telling them, should have an emotional connection so that they understand what you are talking about, so that their hearts open up for you, that they know this man in front of the at the podium, he understands our problem, he understands the situation, he understands that we are all at a wedding, for instance, and we are happy. He's not giving a funeral eulogy at a wedding, for instance. Engagement is a prerequisite for encouraging the uptake of useful behaviors and changes in attitudes. To be effective, communications must make the desired behavior easy, fun, and popular. And it must be easy, fun, and popular for you as the speaker as well. Because if you are stressed out in front of the audience, you will forget your speech. There will be no connection. And as you're doing your speech, as you're doing your 1 minute and 30 second speech, as you're doing your 35 minutes prepared speech, as you're doing your sermon in front of your congregation, you will have to get feedback. And the feedback that you get is by looking at your audience. The feedback is how they interpret your speech, how they interpret your words. Are they connecting with you? So if the communicators are going back and forth, you will have a successful speech. I'm going to skip this slide and going to key takeaways. By this I mean, when you have a successful speech, when you're standing behind the podium, you have to know your audience. You have to adapt your message and your delivery if necessary. To increase impact, you will either speak faster or you speak slower, or you be more formal or less formal. You will have to give more examples if you see you are not connecting with the audience. You have to look to the audience and recognize that an audience is not a monolithic entity. The audience is not a one fit all situation. There are different souls, different people in your audience, and each one of them are different. And you have to find that line that connects to every one of them. So each presentation does. Therefore, each presentation is an opportunity for dialogue and connection. You are speaking, there's a dialogue, although you are the only one speaking, like I am currently doing, I'm the only one speaking, but there are dialogue between the two. I'm giving you information, I'm giving you a lecture, so there is dialogue. And I hope I am connecting with each and every one. And understanding the audience is pivotal in doing so. I have to understand I'm speaking to different levels of students in my public speaking and communications class. I have to understand that there may be somebody that is 18-year-old, fresh from high school. I have to understand that there may be a professor sitting over here in this audience, but this professor might be so scared of doing a public speech that he wants to join in this class. So the power of communication is a social process that constructs shared realities. There's a symbolic interactionism, meaning meaning emerges through interaction. Understanding emerges through interaction. Public speaking as a communicative event that influences collective understanding. So, like I mentioned earlier, a public health speech during a pandemic shaped how communities interpret risk and respond collectively. 5 years ago, the whole world had COVID, right? And the way your president spoke to you and connect with you in Nigeria, in Tanzania, in South Africa, wherever, if your leader didn't connect with you, the COVID information didn't travel well. Your public speech, your speaking event, right? It will create a shared meaning between you and your audience through language and also your non-verbal cues, how your body language share the speech that you are giving. It will establish social norms and expectations. The speech will facilitate cooperation within groups. So if your speech, like somewhere in the speech, like I sometimes do, is I ask random people to participate in the class for 30 seconds or 90 seconds today to speak about a random topic. If I could not connect with my audience, nobody would have responded. right? And I also give you an example. Team leaders who use inclusive language like we, our goal, foster stronger group cohesion. If you, as a team leader, need to give a speech in front of your fellow workers, if you use the language we as a team and not I want you to do this, if you say our goals is to build the best factory in the world instead of my goal is for everybody to work together. If you use we, our plural, where you are inclusive, then your speech will be much stronger. Culture as a system of shared symbols is also a way of communicating. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are a Nigerian lawyer, I bet you're going to be more productive and more successful in a Nigerian court than in a court in the United States because the culture of the courtroom may be different. Communication transmits cultural values across generations. If you are a senior member of your community and you need to tell a story to younger audiences in your community, you will use cultural norms and cultural values that connect to the audience. The framework, the cultural framework that we have, will also influence the interpretation of the message. And I give the example: gestures like eye contact might be significant in one culture, but disrespectful in another. So before you do your public speaking, if I, for instance, as a South African, if I have to speak to a Nigerian audience, only I will have to find out what I can and cannot do during my speech. This, while you are doing your speech, you have to build relations with your audience. You have to manage conflict if there is conflict in your audience. You have to sustain the emotional bond for the 30 minutes, the 1 hour that you are busy with them. So, communication in public speaking is an audience centered activity, right? Your audience is the most important person. But again, additionally, your non-verbal communication shapes your credibility. If you are speaking to a younger audience, but you is as stiff as a pole, that young people are not going to listen to you. You have to structure the message that you are giving to your audience. So can we ask the question again, why audience analysis matter? Audience analysis matter because it enhances message relevance. It will reduce misinterpretation. It will strengthen speaker audience connection. There will be different audiences. The audience will be diverse, right? And you will have to you will have to connect to the audience while you are while you are giving the speech, while you are standing live in front of your audience. If you see by the body language of your audience that your message is not going through, you will have to instantaneously adapt to the audience because you know your topic. So you can adapt to the audience. Connection builds confidence, and while you are connecting to your audience, while you are changing your speech to connect to your audience, it builds confidence because you are in charge of the speech. I'm going to stop sharing my presentation